so?
So none of that can go into the podcast. I was actually thinking about this because I'm trying to figure out what the way is to handle this. I mean, we could have an honest conversation, but I almost wonder if it makes sense for you to do sort of like what you do on Instagram. I mean, I can help you do whatever, or I mean, I'm fine to do whatever, but I don't want to take that away from you because this is your podcast.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Is to sort of Well, I was going to say to sort of come out on top like before the episode starts, because I feel like it's weird to start the episode with the happy music and then come in and be like, so they're really fucking up LA, huh? You know, like that's
totally.
So I feel like before the episode starts, there should be like a 30-second thing where it's like acknowledged about this with the intent to give people an escape.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
know?
no, for sure. And I was actually going to say, like, before, and I probably will keep this in the episode. I was probably, just because we're recording this so close to release
Right.
time, that I was probably just going to just like not do the music this time around and just kind of go into it. But welcome back to Homophonic, everybody. John Michael is joining me.
Hello, everyone.
Today. I'm so excited. We just had a deep as you might have just heard us kind of chit-chatting about. The times are tough right now.
Yeah.
Times are tough right now. Our hearts go out to everyone in the LA and really just like kind of all over this country and all over the world at this point, because there is so much fucked up shit happening right now. And we know that people listen to this podcast for an escape and we want to keep it that way. But we also just feel like it's very disingenuous and just strange. To go on and talk about, do people think that Madonna's Skin remix sounds old? Because we're going to get into that. We're going to, I want to bring that up. But there's some serious shit happening right now and we're all feeling it, whether we are personally feeling, what is happening with ICE in LA, or just the mundane day-to-day going to our day jobs and pretending like nothing, like the world isn't falling apart. Like it's,
and I think that this is one of the weird things about capitalism in this country. I mean, we are a capitalist society here in America, and I think that this is one of those things that we're sort of, the experiment is being seen in real time.
Yeah.
And I think that we're really seeing where the links in the chain don't work and where it's broken and how far we've gotten away from humans and human connection and humanity. And I think that's really at the root of this. I think it's all been exploded by social media, and we could go about the ills and everything else and talk about it. But all this just to say is that, what I've realized in witnessing all of these different things in all different countries across my lifetime is that no one human experience is truly unique. We are all so connected, and we have all experienced so many things, so many of the same things, are experiencing so many of the same things as our brothers and sisters all around the world, that I don't know, it's just truly heartbreaking that this is the society that we've decided to engineer, when we could be so much better, because everything is so much more possible when we put our hearts into it like that, to better humanity. Sorry for the rant.
No, I mean, it's I know that I admire you so much because you do all these rallies, you go to all these protests, you are so well informed. I'm going to go completely admit right now that I don't always feel the most informed. I see the headlines. I do my best to try to read about things, but it's also just so hard as the average American to go to work, come home, stay up to date on these things, pay your bills, figure out what's going on, what you're doing the next day.
Worry about your health.
Worry about your health. Like,
that's a real thing here.
Maintain relationships with friends and family. Like it's really hard. And so I know that that's something that I need to be better about, but also just for my own mental health too. Like, you would kind of touch on this earlier, but like social media will drop all of these things that go, whatever you're interacting with, right? Your algorithm's going to be like, oh, you liked this thing about this particular social or political thing that happened. Here's 10 more posts for you that's going to make it feel, I don't want to say 10 times right. And I was going to say 10 times worse. It's bad. It's bad. I don't want to say that this is like being amplified by social media, but it will make you feel like the world is ending today.
Absolutely. And I think that I've had this discussion with people where I said that there are some times it can feel harder to not manufacture joy. That's the wrong way of putting it, but to sort of be able to drop in and be present when joy is happening IRL in real life,
Mm-hmm.
because we're so into our phones. And I do it all the time where it's like I'm out doing something and I'll pick up my phone just as a reflex and I open whatever app and all of a sudden it's like the craziest news story you get hit across the face with. And I'm like, God, I'm standing in a Kohl's, like, and I feel crazy right now. Like, I don't, like, what did I
You're like,
just
what am
do?
I going to do with this Kohl's cash?
Right, right. So it feels like absolutely insane, and I know that everybody's feeling it everywhere, no matter where you fall on the political spectrum. It's not even about that, and
Yeah.
that's what I think the thing that I've realized the most out of all of this. And again, not going to get in a soapbox, but that it is so much not left and right, but up and down. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
the sooner that we realize that as a nation, the better off that we're going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I feel that too. I mean, I was in Detroit this weekend with my family doing an early birthday celebration for my brother and I. Our birthdays are 3 days apart. And we're both turning 40. And so we like did this whole thing. We're like celebrating. Like I went to drag bingo. We went to like a Tigers Cubs game. Like we've been doing all this stuff. And it was quite literally in the middle of this is when I opened my phone
right,
and saw the ice stuff happening in LA and everyone's posting about LA. And I was like, this feels so strange right now. And I felt the
right,
same way when the LA wildfires happened. It's so strange that I'm just living my life, quote unquote, and then seeing all of this horrific things all around me.
right,
It's a
right,
very strange, almost like a survivor's guilt
right,
thing.
right.
And so anyway,
No,
we
it's
just wanted to throw that out there now
well
because
because
we know,
it's hard to not. I don't know. It's stranger to me to not acknowledge.
yes,
You
yes,
know, like,
yeah.
and it's I don't know. It feels like that just it weighs on you more.
Mm-hmm.
So it just
And
doesn't feel
I,
good for the soul.
yeah, and I know that I don't always have the right things to say, and that's why people might think that I'm being silent. It's just like I don't know what there is to say, and honestly, I'm all about people using their platforms, but I'm also like, let's stop turning to certain types of people, aka influencers, meme creators. If they
Right.
are well informed, and I'm not saying that they can't use their platform, but if you're expecting these people, myself included, to speak on every thing that's happening in the world, I am not a good resource for that.
Well, I always think of who was it? There was oh man, I can't even remember what the issue was. I'm drawing a blank on this right now, but there was like a bunch of celebrities that had posted things about it, and all of the facts hadn't been out yet. And like a
Yeah.
bunch of them had gotten sort of caught with their pants down. And it's like, I know that it's like everybody wants to sort of rush. I think that's what the social media aspect is. That
What?
the root of the problem is that everybody wants to just throw their hat into the ring. You don't you want to feel like you have community. Actually, let
Yeah.
me go back to that because I feel like now more than ever that is what is becoming more glaringly important. I
Yeah.
mean, and it's crazy that it feels like it had to come to this in some on some level, but I think that what at least what I'm seeing, I don't know about where you are, but because I'm so like involved in like the activism side of it, that I see so many people like trying to rally and figure out things and how to keep people safe and do all of this. And it's I not to compare in any way because the events are so completely different, but living through 9/11 and seeing how New Yorkers banded together and
Hmm.
seeing the support from other states about what was going on and how Philly jumped in and how Boston came down and how all of these other places and these people just rallied and they sent everybody here to help us. It was such an incredible sense of community in one of the worst times ever. I feel like I'm seeing similar things happening now in spots all across the country where it's
Yeah.
not just happening in one city like it was happening in New York. So I feel like that is something that maybe I hope people will wake up to realize that we need each other in order to get through these tough times because that
Hmm.
is, I say it all the time, we are the only thing that will save us.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
And so none of that's going in. No.
Right. Yeah. And so now, well,
I will say this. I got back. I've been up since 4 a.m. So if I look like this I'm actually found an audio today that made me laugh that
you
I'm
are
going to play.
glowing.
Well, I
Please.
appreciate that. It's just the lighting. Um, but I heard this audio today that made me laugh, and I was like, I'm gonna actually play this on the podcast because I think it's perfect.
Oh my gosh, I
Um,
love it. I can't
so
wait.
this is me coming back from World Pride.
If it looks like I'm tired, I am. If it looks like I have no makeup on, I don't. If if this is the 5th time you've seen me in this dress, deal with it.
That's so
Right.
real.
And I was like, that's it. When I turned on my camera for my Zoom for my first meeting, I was like, this is exactly how I feel right now.
That is
I have no makeup
so
on. I got no.
real. Wow, 4 a.m. because you went to World Pride.
I did go to World Pride. It
And
was
how was it?
kind of epic. Like I didn't do everything. So okay, let me first say we went down there primarily to protest and march. Like we were going down there, getting down there on Friday. We were planning to have a very chill Friday evening, and then Saturday we were going to get up, do the parade, do all that, the festivities, and then Sunday morning there was a rally, and then there was a march on Washington. That was primarily what we were going down there to do.
Yeah.
Last minute, my friend Jess from Peloton, Jess King, said, hey, got invited to do this thing, want to do it with me. I think it would be really, really fun. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I feel like I have to like really get myself together and whatever. Long story short, I said, you know what the hell? Let's just do it. It's going to be great. We're going to be at a festival on a stage. Why would we not do it?
Yeah.
Had the best time. I can't even tell you. For 1 hour, it was so incredible just seeing everybody. Like, I think more than anything else, what I realized this weekend is not only do I just love all gay people. I don't care who you are. If you are a gay person out there listening with the sound of my voice, I love you. Because when I was walking around and seeing the outfits and everything else, and it's like, I know it seems so like cheesy and glitter and shiny, whatever, but like, I don't know. There was just something, especially now, seeing people sew themselves en masse, laughing, dancing, joyful, colorful, like just, I don't know. It just really, really filled me with the spirit that I feel like I probably needed more than anything else for this Pride Month.
Absolutely.
And so I really do thank Jess because, like, I think that was the right kickstart into the whole thing, and it was just unbelievable.
It looked like a blast. I saw some of the clips that you and Brian had posted, and the crowd was insane. Like
Right.
I was like seeing all those people there, listening to you guys. I was like, oh my! I like had like tears in my eyes. Like
Right.
I was like, this is so cool. And then the block party that you went to, like you
Oh
had
my
talked about the
God.
energy of the block party, and I felt that energy through your story. I was like, there is nothing more than I fucking love than a block party.
Well, and I realized too when I was walking down. So for anybody who doesn't know, so DC is a pretty big city, and they have everything is set up in different areas. So like where our hotel was, we were like 15 minutes from Capitol, from the block party. But then there's like another half hour out is where the World Pride Music Festival was, and it was like all different things around the city. So when I was a kid, I grew up mostly, I was raised in Staten Island, but I grew up a lot in Brooklyn, and we were there every weekend, just hanging out with my family, just like every other Italian family. And block parties were such a thing in my childhood, and it just shut down the block. We'd have fireworks because you were allowed to do that. And I mean, that's how old I am, but it was just like DJs and partying. Everybody bought tables and food, and just everybody just left their doors open. And I know that we live in a different world. I get all of that. I really, really do. But there is a sense of community that I have not found that existing in a long time like that. It still exists. There's still places in Brooklyn and Queens and whatever all around that have block parties. It does. But it's just nowhere near as common as what I'm used to seeing. So walking around there felt not only nostalgic, but also like, oh my God, like this is quite possibly some of the best vibes that you could have for Pride. Because it's free, it's open, it's literally anybody can come. And so it was just, you had the most diverse crowd ever. Everybody was so in a good mood, and I couldn't say enough. It really, DC was fantastic this weekend, and so little opposition. I didn't see any, no anti-protest, no nothing. I saw none of it this weekend.
That's it. You know what? That's incredible. Similarly, I went to do Motor City Pride in Detroit yesterday, and I did not see a single protester.
I was very surprised.
And it was, and so the only other Pride I've been to that I can compare, that I have any sort of reference point to, is Grand Rapids.
Right.
And Grand Rapids,
is that big? That's big.
It's gotten big. Yes.
Yeah.
So last year was probably the biggest that I've ever seen it. It takes up a huge portion of our downtown area now. I'm interested to see what it's going to look like this year. But there's still protesters,
Right. Right. When is your Pride?
Our Pride starts I think it's Saturday the 21st, and it's 2 days this year. So it's the 21st and 22nd. Allie and AJ are headlining.
Stop. I love.
I was like, I want Like Whoa on repeat.
Right.
and
That's
and
amazing.
potential breakup song.
Right. That's the one I want.
Right. But yeah, so this Pride, Motor City, was enormous. Not a single protester, so diverse.
Right.
I mean, the energy. So here's what I thought was fascinating, and I've never experienced this before in my life. So first and foremost, I wore a very revealing outfit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did.
I certainly did. I was like, dick out for Z Machine. That's what we're doing. And so, but I was like, you know what? I was like, the body is bodying right now. Right. I don't know how many more years I have with this left. I was like, I'm going to do this. Right. I'm going to wear this. And I know that I will post thirst traps and shit, but like that is not something that I typically do in the real world. Right. So I was really proud of myself for doing that. But as I'm walking around it, or actually as I was leaving Pride, seemingly a group of straight men, I can't prove that they were straight, but they seemed straight and sounded straight from their voices, looked at me and a few other people that had clearly left Pride. Right. And they go, "Happy Pride, y'all." And I was just like, this energy, I was like, I would have never heard that ever.
And let me tell you, and I also felt like what I saw a lot at World Pride. I mean, World Pride is obviously a huge event, but it felt like there were so many more allies than usual there. And maybe it's just because of the size of it, but everywhere I went, it seemed like there were people yearning for the normalcy of Pride, which is crazy, right? To be in that position. But it's like, I saw, heterosexual parents with families, like bringing their children, drawing rainbows and butterflies on their faces. And like all these there was so many different churches and congregations and synagogues and just all these different religious factions that had come to support and have tables and whatever. And it was just, I don't know, it really felt like World Pride, like all these places had just come together, so much more than what I'm even used to seeing from the straights.
Right.
So we welcome you. Yep. Welcome to the party. Welcome been waiting.
To the party. Yep, absolutely. And so it was really, really cool. And they had like 3 different stages. There were just tons of people. I mean, it was.
What would you attribute that to, though? What would you think there would be like a change out there that would?
I mean,
is it a visibility thing?
Maybe. I mean, the east side of the state is a lot more liberal than the west side of the state.
Got it.
So even though like we're a swing state, right? And so, but a lot of times we swing more blue than red. Mm-hmm. And that's because of the Detroit area.
Right.
I don't know. It was a really cool energy. And I remember thinking as I was driving away, I was like, I forget that this is Michigan.
Right.
Because my experience of Michigan is West Michigan, which is a lot more conservative, a lot more tame, a lot more religious.
Right.
At least in the Christian sense. So just seeing the diversity of people, seeing the diversity of just bodies and ages and skin color and everything. Like I sound so silly saying that probably, but like it's not something that I get to see every single day. It's it's very white over here, or at least the areas that I frequent are very white. I would say that actually my work is probably one of the more diverse places in Grand Rapids because that we do serve quite a diverse population.
Yeah.
So I don't see that. So I do see a little bit more of that diversity at work, but not in a queer sense,
So now my real question though is like, what was the music that was being played down there? Was it like Pride classics, or were they turning it out with the New Girls? Like, where is Detroit and all this?
So there were 3 stages that I could see. So there was like the main stage which had the performers, which I'm so excited. And we'll talk about this in a second. So I got to finally meet Z Machine.
Yes.
So when I had gotten there, I forget who they were, but it was a couple of RuPaul drag queens that were performing. I would love that. And then the 2 other stages were kind of right next to each other. And I was kind of like, I was like, when you're standing in between them, I was like, the music's kind of clashing. Right. I was like, okay, we need to figure that out. But it was house music. And so, yeah, and I don't know who the DJs were, but it was a vibe. It was really,
Okay.
really cool. Yeah, it
Love
was a
that.
lot of fun. And they were both, one stage was like, I'm trying to remember the name of the plaza. I'm such a bad Michigander, but it was like overlooking the river. And there was one stage next to this like pyramid of stairs, which was really cool. And then there was another stage that was kind of like lower in like a lower pit.
Right.
So those were the two that were next to each other. And then the main stage was also in a lower pit, but that was kind of in the front of the area. Yeah, it was sick. I was only there for probably about 2 hours. I went to CZ and then kind of hung out for a second, and then I ended up leaving because I was like, I have to drive like 3 hours back to Grand Rapids now.
Oh,
But
yeah. I got to see Betty Who, which was phenomenal. Like, I literally had the absolute honor and opportunity of hosting her at Peloton last week. And let me tell you something, like, when you just know, like, you can just look at somebody and just know and be like, no, they get it. Not only do they get it, but they're so true in their support of all of it. And it's just, she's just one of those people. She's exactly who you think she is and everything that you would want her to be. She's lovely. She's unbelievably talented. And it's just, I can't say enough things about her. I really, really can. I'm totally Who Crew for life.
Who Crew for life. I mean,
That's
she
it.
is an incredible performer, and she's a great
Incredible.
singer. She's a great songwriter. I mean,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm blown away by her. I mean, the energy that she exudes from what we see on social media. I mean, obviously we all put a version of ourselves out, right? But like, I my only other interaction with her is when she performed at Grand Rapids Pride a few years back,
Right.
and when she was like walking through the to get to stage or whatever, and she was waving at people, I could feel that energy.
Right.
You know,
She just lights the room up. She really is wonderful, and I got to hear a couple of songs that she's going to put out in the future, which are phenomenal, and I'm really excited for everybody to hear them. But yeah, so I got to see her.
Did you see J-Lo?
I did not see J-Lo. I
Oh,
could not even, I know I
no.
couldn't even do it anymore because I was so tired, because again, we took like a ridiculous, I think a 6 a.m. flight to get
Right.
down
Yeah.
there, because originally we were not planning on doing this. So by
Right.
the time that we did the entire day, and then after the set, I was like, oh girl, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I've seen J-Lo like twice in concert, and she's phenomenal, and I love her, and we've obviously talked about this, but
Yeah.
I did see, who else did we go see? We saw Betty Who, we saw Rita Ora, who was, I think, having tech issues, unfortunately.
No, that sucks.
Yeah, it was really, really terrible too, because she's just like, it's Pride, and I just dropped this new song today, and I can't wait to perform it for the first time. Tech issues.
Of course.
And I was like, oh no. And so then
that
wait, so it's crazy because she's doing, and I'm sure there's video of it online, but so she's just like, well, you know what? If it happens, it happens. And we're just going to sing it a cappella. And she starts singing. She sounds amazing. And she's singing this song, and her dancers are behind her, and there's no music. And so it's just Rita Ora singing this song, and her dancers are like, and I'm like, it was so crazy. And I'm like, good for them, because if you can keep time to do that, like, that's why you're dancers. But it was just like, in the moment, I'm like, this is crazy.
Right. Oh,
but
my
I
God.
tell you, the mic is on. The girl can sing.
I was gonna say, we don't give Rita Ora enough credit for her vocal abilities. She's an incredible singer.
Incredible. She was so good. And I'm just getting to hear her do Let You Love Me live.
Oh, love that. Yeah,
that's one of my favorites.
It's so good. Did she do
I didn't catch the whole thing, so I don't know the whole set list.
I was gonna say, I loved her song, unfortunately, with Chris Brown, but it was called Body on Me. I loved that one.
Right.
And I love Anywhere. Loved Anywhere.
Favorite.
And the new song Heat is great.
So good.
I love it. It's co-written by Troye Sivan. And he also does backing vocals. I'm gonna call it right now and say that he'll probably be featured on a remix.
Right.
Like it's gonna happen. I can feel it. Yeah, it's a great song. Love it.
Love it.
Good for her.
Saw her. Then I saw Brian wanted to see this DJ Patrick Mason. Now let me tell you something. If he ever comes to your town, you specifically have to go see him, because he is not only possible, and I haven't done all of the research, because he's definitely involved very much so with the houses of Extravaganza and Ninja and all these other voguing houses, because they were all represented there and they were all like voguing around him. But the gayest, most fantastic, just like energy 90s house type set that I have heard in so long. But it pulled from the 90s, but also felt super modern, and just the way he wove everything together, I was like, this is the most interesting set I've heard in a long time. So Patrick Mason turned it the fuck out. Also got to see the Kevin Aviance.
Yes, and I'm so happy because he just had like a health scare. So that's
Yes.
incredible.
Yes. And that's why, like, it came out in the boots with like the outfit. And I'm like, girl, you are literally 2 days out of the hospital and you are back in these boots. I can't even handle it. So good.
These boots are
Love.
made for serving.
And if you're listening out there, Kevin Aviance is one of the people that is sampled on Beyonce's Pure Honey. So when you hear the cunty, that in the background, that's all Kevin Aviance, a New York City icon.
Yes.
Also another icon for gay men over 40, Kristine W.
Dude, okay. So when I saw that I was like, wait, hold on. And something that we didn't talk about, or I did not mention in my meme carousel about new music release last week, was she released a new song.
Yes.
And I fucking love Kristine W.
Love. And I even love the new song. Like when I first listened to it, I was like, oh, this is okay. But then when I actually got to see her perform it live, I was like, oh no, I really like this. I was like, this is really, really cute. Good for you.
Yeah. What it's called? Love
Personified.
Yes. She looked incredible. She came
Incredible.
out in the gayest outfit that I could have ever seen
ever,
her
with
come
like
out in.
Rufio hair.
She had this like blue, I don't even know, like petal looking thing with like obviously a bodysuit underneath. I mean, it was incredible.
Right.
I'm so jealous
But
that I
like,
got to see her.
Saw her do Save My Soul. She played the saxophone. She did all like literally, I've been seeing her perform since 1999 and she's never given a bad performance. I've never seen her give a bad performance. She's just phenomenal.
God.
I love
Did she
her.
do Clubland?
To be honest, I didn't stay for the whole set because I was dying and I needed something to eat.
Totally. No, I get that.
No, I saw Love Personified. I saw Save My Soul, One More Try, Land of the Living. I want to say she did Clubland. I feel like that's what she was doing as we were walking out.
Okay.
But yeah, and Stronger.
I love Stronger.
But you give me a, ski ba ba da ba da beep ba ba da ba da beep ba ba da ba da skibby dibby.
Like, I'm not even kidding.
My favorite vocal stem. Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh, that's so fun.
In Clubland. Yeah.
Like, she's so good.
She's so good. The Fly Again album, you want to talk about an album that we don't talk about enough? That Fly Again album, phenomenal.
Crazy Life on that album is so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, don't even get me started.
See, and this is why, and I saw somebody comment on Instagram about how they want us to do like a old gay house music, like 90s, like this type of stuff episode. Yes. I'm totally down with this.
I think that after we're done recording, I think we should do a debrief really quick and talk about what we want to talk about with that, because we need to do this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
So the people that I saw in Detroit, so I got there as like the RuPaul queens were wrapping up. Jan something.
Oh, Jan Sport.
Yes.
I love her.
Yes, Jan Sport. And so then right after them, it was Madison Rose.
Work.
Yeah. And
she's so good.
She's blew me away.
Yeah.
Blew me the fuck away. Her stage presence, her voice, every song was a fucking banger. So I know that Madison is friends with Bentley Robles.
Right.
And so I know that she's featured on the remix of High Definition Lover.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew that song. And I think that I knew her song Iconic, but I was not familiar with the rest of her music.
Right.
So I have to say, and I was front row dancing, and I was sitting right next to Bentley. I was so excited. I was like, hey. So I was like dancing next to him or whatever. And I like felt awkward because I was like, I don't know her music. And so it's not like I'm out there like singing her songs.
Right.
But I was living. Like I loved her music. And it was really interesting too, because again, as a sober person who's entering his 40s in a skimpy little bodysuit, I felt very vulnerable and on display right there. And I was also like meeting Bentley, and I met Z, and I was like, so I definitely felt shy. I was feeling a little shy, and I probably didn't let loose as much as I would have had I been like with like people that I had known for some time. But by the end of it, I was like living my best life. And I was completely blown away by all of the songs. There was a song called House that she did that I loved. She did a song called Better Off Alone, which doesn't sample the Alice DJ song, but she did incorporate it into the performance, which I loved. I was like, and I always appreciate that when people do that. She did a song, was it Better Off Alone? I think it was Better Off Alone, where then she mashed it up with and did that as a medley with Robin's Dancing on My Own.
Oh, work.
Which was incredible. It worked immaculately.
Yeah.
It was so good. So then she did the High Definition Lover remix. So, and I think that was a tech issue. So unfortunately, Bentley performed the day before, and unfortunately I couldn't see his performance because I was out with my family.
Right.
But he said that it went amazing. But he said that, so when I met him, I was like, oh my gosh, hey Bentley, he lost his voice.
Oh.
Because again, with the Michigan wildfire, or not the Michigan wildfires, but like the wildfires that were happening, we got like the aftermath, like the smoke and whatnot. Air quality has been terrible. Allergies, like there's like birch trees everywhere that it just like looks like it's fucking snow on the ground. And so anyway, he lost his voice. He was supposed to be on stage with her to do a surprise performance of that song. So she did it by herself, but like she had changed the track list, but something happened anyway. But like a trooper, she sang it. So I have a clip of Bentley being like dancing because he's like, this is my song. It was so much fun. I mean, she was incredible.
I saw her, I want to say, I could be wrong, and I'm pretty sure I saw her at Webster Hall, and I want to say she was opening for someone, and I want to say it was Aqua.
Oh wow.
I feel like it was like Laguna Blue, which is like a local drag queen, and then I feel like it was her, Madison, and then Aqua, I feel, or something like that. She was in the mix somewhere. She opened for somebody at Webster Hall, and literally as soon as she got on the stage, I was like, okay, I am locked in. We're doing this.
Yeah, no, I was really blown away by her performance. And again, just like it's, she's an independent artist, right? So it was literally just her in a cunty little outfit, and she just crushed it. Right. She like walked into the audience, and she like was like, people who were recording her, she like grabbed their phone and she was like filming herself with it and then gave it back. Like she just was like, I was blown away by it. And then after a small intermission, also Jay Rodriguez
work
from the original Queer Eye was emceeing, so that was really fun.
Love her.
And who did an amazing job. And then after a short intermission, we got to see Z Machine. And I mean, again, you're the person that introduced me to his music with Habit 3 years ago. And I've been obsessed with Z ever since. And we've been fortunate enough to bond and have a friendship, through Instagram and through the podcast. He's been a guest plenty of times. So to finally meet the person that you have been talking to all this, I was very nervous. Like, I don't know how he felt, but I was very nervous because I was just like, I just don't want, I hope that I am not, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was just like, I was nervous. And
well, it's very, very random, and it's not always easy to make fun as an adult. I mean, make friends as an adult.
Right. It's not. Yeah. Right. And so, but he was everything I could have ever dreamed of. I mean, he was so sweet. First of all, tall king. I mean, he's not like crazy tall, but like he's anyone. I mean, I guess anyone's taller than me. I'm only 5'7".
Got it.
But like I was not expecting that.
I imagined you to be taller.
Right. Yeah. I'm a short king, 5'7".
Wow. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so, but loved that. I mean, because I was like, look, when I got there, again, I just went by myself. So Jansport was wrapping up. I was kind of looking down into the crowd, and I was like trying to see people. I was just like looking around, and then I saw Z's hair. Yes. And I was like, I know that hair anywhere.
Right.
And so I quickly ran down. And then I was like nervous because I was behind him, and I was like, oh my God, do I touch him? Do I not? And then I finally just like, I was just going to gently stroke his mouth.
Because that's not weird.
Because that's not weird at all. And then it was just, it was amazing. Love at first sight. It was so fun. And then he went on, he performed. I mean, he opened the show with Good Boy, did a little extended intro, and I literally screamed. I was like, come on, extended intro. And then he went into Habit, and he dedicated that to me. I was like,
Stop.
Oh, that was so sweet. And yeah, like I was standing next to Bentley. Also want to shout out Shane and his husband Jim, 2 followers of mine that I got to meet. That was super fun. So we were all standing together for the entire show. And he did, what else did he do? He did the radio. He did Everybody Wants It. He did Motions with David Ade. He did I'm in Love with Everyone. He did Should Have Been Yours from the EP.
Come on, long set.
Yeah, no, I mean he it was incredible. He played the guitar and the riffs. I mean, I know that Z can sing, like that's not news to me by any stretch, but like seeing someone sing like that live was otherworldly to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like and just all of the ad libs that he did. I mean, he was just wailing. I
Right.
was like, no big deal. He
and
just
I
did
think
that for like 30 minutes. No big deal.
Right. And I think that was one of the first things that sort of attracted me to him on Instagram when I first discovered him, was sort of like watching him just sort of like off the cuff, like
Yeah.
saying like phrases and random things. And I was like, oh, she's really got it. I was like, oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was like, I got to really pay attention here. I said, because this one actually has like the voice. Okay, good. And then when I saw
Yeah.
the guitar and I was like, oh, she's Prince too. Okay, great. I was like, I'm in for the whole thing. Let's do
Like
it.
the guitar was incredible. I mean, he came out, he was wearing a Lions shirt over like a mesh top, and I was like, you better pander. I was like, you better pander to us. And yeah, I mean, just absolutely incredible. I mean, it kind of felt like, and I'm not just saying this to gas Z up and because we're his friend, but like it did kind of feel like seeing Lady Gaga before she blew up.
Oh, absolutely, because this is but this is that moment, I feel like, where it's in that era for him. Yeah, 100 for him and Bentley.
And that's how it felt. I was like, he's destined to do this, and he just put on such a show. I mean, with his moves. I mean, there was a really fun. I don't know if this will stay in the show, but I'll say it anyway, and maybe I'll edit it last minute. But here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I will say. He did a song. And he did a song with an artist that is no longer making music.
Oh.
And I had whispered to Bentley, I said, is so-and-so still making music? And Bentley kind of filled me in on what's going on. And so Bentley, then, you know how people will like put a request on a phone?
Yes.
And whatnot?
Yeah.
He put, where's so-and-so? And then Z saw it, and he like squinted out. And then he was like, So if you see photos on Instagram of him going, that's what he's reacting to. But anyway, so that was just like a funny moment because he was like, I don't know. But yeah. And then what else? I'm just trying to, I mean, like the performance was just, and also like, I almost kind of felt like a proud dad in a way, because I was like recording so much of it. And but then I'm recording, but I'm also dancing. So the footage is like all over the place.
It's like everything in my mother's phone.
Yeah, but then I was also trying to like live in the moment, so I was trying to strike the balance between the two of them. But it was just incredible.
But I mean, the whole environment really just recharges your batteries. You know, like
it
as
really
exhausted
does.
as I feel right now, like it was absolutely worth it, and it was such a good weekend. And it's
same here. Yeah, I needed it.
Yeah.
I really needed it. And also it was we were able to like actually converse after his set, and it was just really cool seeing people come up to him and being like, I loved your show. Like, where can I find your music? There was one person that I like made a joke to, and I don't know if they got it or not, but I was like, this one guy came up to him and he was like, you were so performative or whatever. And I go, he just called you performative.
This is my first impression of you, sir.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I was like, no, I'm totally kidding. And it was just so, I mean, like, there's so many people going up being like, can I get your photo? And I was like, here, I was like, I'll take it for you. And I was like, there was like a group of guys where they like, can you take your photo of us? And I was like, sure. But like because where this was, like, part of it was like started to like go, I don't want to say underground, but it was like under this like tunnel area. So there's like shadow. And I was like, actually, we're going to turn you guys around because the flight is this way. So I was like, we're going to want this to look good. And Z was like, art director. Also, shout out. There was this man. God bless this man. His name is Jamie. Older gentleman, photographer for Pride. He had a Pride cruise shirt on. Lovely man. But wow, does he have stories?
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Wow, does he have stories? And wow, does he not know when to stop talking about the stories?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he had a moment with Z where he was like, can I get your like a headshot of you and Z was like, of course. And so he's like walking around or whatever. And then all of a sudden it felt like 15 minutes had gone by. And I was like, oh my God. And then Z was like, oh my God. Like, he
help.
would not stop talking. He was like, yes. Help. But they had like walked away, and I was also like talking with this other guy that I was like, right. We were interested. And then Jamie approached us, and same thing with us, where I'm like trying to flirt with this guy, and I was like, and so I ended up exchanging Snapchats with this guy, but I was like, oh my God, not Jamie cock blocking
Right.
us.
Not the photographer from Pride.
And again, literally the sweetest man. My impression that he's straight, used to be in the medical field, was talking about the importance of doctors being needed during the AIDS crisis in the 80s. And
right.
like this guy had been around and was clearly an ally. But yeah, it was just funny because we were like, we're trying to get dick down right now.
Right.
Come on. But not in public, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was a fantastic time, and I needed that. I needed that to just relight my fire, because times are wild right now.
It really is. So that's why I said I will take the joy wherever I can find it. And I feel like that's what everybody else has to do. And also, like, give yourself a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Absolutely.
It's really tough. It's okay to be tired of it. It's okay to be exhausted, and it's okay to look away. Not look away. That's the wrong phrase. It's okay to take a break.
Yeah.
And do something for yourself and be with your people, because that's really, really important. You can't pour from an empty cup. And
the break can be long. It doesn't need to be 2 hours. It doesn't need to be one day.
Right.
Take a couple weeks, take a month.
For what you need.
Yeah.
Right.
It's super important.
Yeah.
To shift gears really quick, can we get into, so I had posted in my stories last week.
Yeah.
Asking, this was a genuine question. No one had said anything to me. This was a genuine question to me. Because Madonna surprise released the Skin collaboration remix as part of the Veronica Electronica EP that is finally getting released next month. You had sent me this, and I've got thoughts on it.
Yeah.
But when I heard the remix, I was like, this remix has not been in streaming before. And I was listening to it, and I was like, oh, this is so fun, like nostalgia coming back. But then I was like, I'm curious. Do people listen to this remix and think this sounds old? And I don't know if everyone really understood what I meant by that, but I got a lot of really interesting responses. And
my thought, well, I have a lot of thoughts on the edit, but my thought when I listen to some of it now, and I think it's specific to certain DJs more than others. I feel like Junior and Peter really have a lot of this more than some of the other DJs from the time.
Yeah.
The mastering techniques don't sound right sometimes. Not that they don't sound right, but they sound different.
Yeah.
So there's something about it that in 25 years on, for songs that haven't been remastered to newer technology with newer technology, that sometimes they sound either a little flat, or maybe they're a little too loud, or everything's just a little compressed. Like there's just something about some of the mixes, and I feel like Skin is falling victim to that.
Yeah, it was an interesting edit. I mean, the original remix is about 11 minutes long, which,
right.
We love a length here. We're size queens here.
We do. And the full one was released on Victor Calderon's original CD, E=MC². I think it is, or the second volume, something like that.
E equals something like.
Or no, whatever. VC. I was like, MC, that's Mariah Carey. We'll get to her.
Right, VC. And so, the edit, I mean, it eliminates the verses.
And that's my biggest issue. I'm like, it wasn't even necessary. I have an edit that I did that doesn't eliminate the verses.
Right. Yeah. And so I was like, okay. So like part of me, I'm like, it makes me curious, like who did the edit?
And that's what I want to know.
Yeah. Like,
because I just want to be like, hey, can I help?
Yeah. Is this an edit from Peter or Victor that was unreleased, or?
Severely doubt it.
Yeah. And so anyway, long story short, the answers that I got from people that were really interesting. Some people said it sounded old. They were like, it sounds like 90s or whatever. Other people said, yes, it sounds 90s, but they said it sounds classic, which I thought was interesting. And then one person even took a step further and said, yes, it sounds old, but it sounds classic, but I like this because it sounds like more effort went into this remix than it does with remixes now. And I was like, ding, 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 ding.
Right.
I was like, that's what I wanted to hear.
Right.
But I thought it was interesting. And when I say old, because I remember thinking when I was in my late teens and I would hear music from the 70s, music from the 80s, it sounded old to me. I now have to say, though, as a nearly 40-year-old, when I hear music, there are certain mixes that I hear from the 90s and the early 2000s. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can place pretty much all of them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, without a doubt. But there are certain sounds from those time periods that still sound so fresh to me that I don't feel like I'm like, yes, I can tell that that came from this time period, but it still sounds fresh to my ears because no one really kept on with that sound, and it still nothing sounds like it
Right.
today.
I think that there's with some of it, it feels like there has been certain evolutions because I mean, look, there's only so many ways that you can slice a synthesizer, really, and it's like while there are
Sure.
new sounds and it's evolving all the time, there's a lot of elements that are still very much the same. Like I hear this a lot in some of the anima stuff, or like just this like darker, like melodic techno, like the scarier type sounding stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It really just sounds like a lot of older 90s trance music just slowed down and made maybe pull out like four elements. So they like
Mhm.
it's like stripped down a little bit. There's a little bit more atmosphere around it to take up the space. Whereas I feel like in the 90s and like mid to late 90s, early 2000s, everything was like, how much can we get into this mix? Put
Yeah.
everything into it.
Put everything into it.
And that's why they're all 11 minutes because we're going to do all of it.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say the mixes these days are a lot shorter.
They're a
They're a
lot
lot
shorter. So,
shorter.
so you
They're a
don't
lot
really have a
shorter.
lot of time to expand.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah.
introduce all these different elements. It's either they're in or they're not. So I think that
Right.
and I think that's a part of it. You know, look, my true feeling is that capitalism is leading the culture of club music right now, which is not my favorite place to be
Totally.
in. But
Yeah.
it's a cycle. It happens. You know, it'll go back underground. It's the way that it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I think that some of the more like piano type 90s house feels more relevant now
Mhm. Yeah.
because that's still a very, very current sound when you think of like Defected Records and those types of people.
Well, and someone said, let me see if I can find it really quick. Someone really gave like a thesis statement about it because
Work.
I was like, this is the energy that I need. Let me
Right.
see. Hold on one moment, y'all. We are
It's all right. We'll take this out in
waiting,
post.
or we won't, or we'll just keep it right here. Oh my gosh, I might not be able to find it, but they were basically like, it might sound old to some people, but he was like, it's a oh, I thought I found it. He was basically like, a lot of music these days references stuff from the 70s, from the 80s, from the 90s, and music hasn't really moved forward since then. Like we've kind of, I don't know if we've necessarily capped out at sounds, but like he was like he's like just about everything references,
But I
as you just
feel
mentioned, like the piano house and things like that. And
right.
um so he was like, it might sound old to some people, but it's also being recycled currently.
But I feel like and he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. And I agree with that
Hmm.
100%. But I feel like every generation sort of feels the same way because
Right.
there is like, you think of like in the 80s, the 60s were only 20 years earlier than that. So
That's
songs.
crazy to think about.
But so this is what I mean. So like when you hear like, oh, Kylie Minogue's first hit was The Locomotion, that makes absolute sense because the original Locomotion only came out within the last 2 decades before it. So it was
Right.
still a newer song that everyone was aware of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Wild. Yeah.
right. So it's like I think that whereas covers were more the thing earlier in like 70s, 60s, 50s, where people were just doing covers. I mean, could really go down this route and talk about how white people were taking music from black people and sort of like making their
Totally.
own version and not giving the credit and yada, yada, yada. But
Yep.
even beyond that, it seemed to be more like covers of songs that sort of then because if you look at like a lot of the pop girls of the 60s, like Connie Francis and even like early Cher and Petula Clark, and like I'm really aging myself here, but these
My
girls,
girl Petula.
right? Ms. Clark, if you're nasty. But they were all doing very similar songs. Like Cher recorded Alfie, Dionne Warwick recorded Alfie. Like everybody was recording these songs. Like it was just,
Hmm.
Burt Bacharach would write a song and all the girls would sing it. It was just so I
Right.
feel like that morphed into once technology became a thing, sampling or interpolating.
Right. Yeah.
So it's I feel like every generation sort of feels that same way, and it's just like, well, they're only referencing things from the past, but I do think that we've reached here because of the internet a critical mass.
Yeah.
Whereas before it seemed like there was more of a steady drip of it, so it wasn't
Yeah.
so like an all-out assault. But now it's like Every time I see the words David Guetta and BB Rexa, and I'm like, what song is it? What are you getting now?
Right.
What are you
Yep.
pilfering now? Like, and I love both of them, but I'm like, all right, what is it?
Yeah.
What's going to be the next song I hear at all the weddings?
Totally. I know.
And
Yeah.
again, but that's I feel like that's the capitalist side of it, and that's the thing, like, because that's going to be the moneymaker,
Right.
you know.
Right. Yeah.
So I get it.
And yeah. And to bring it back to Veronica Electronica, I'm excited for this.
I'm very excited for this
I'm
because if this is the thing, this will be the first thing that she's actually making good on for a minute.
right.
If I'm going to be
But
honest.
yeah, but at the same time, I'm going to be honest. Like when I looked at the track listing,
Hmm.
I was like, this is clearly not the project that was kind of alluded to
No.
back when she was filming the Frozen music video in 1998. This is
No.
clearly a celebration of the record and its
Right.
remixes, which should, because
Totally.
it's one of the best remix packages of all time.
Right.
But I would have been so curious to hear this record because Madonna had alluded to William Orbit being kind of like the mastermind behind the remix record.
Right.
And I mean, I would have loved to have seen maybe some unreleased remixes. I don't know if any exist, but like remixes that maybe for some album tracks, right?
Yeah, but not even that. But you know what though? Like, if I'm gonna dream big and you're gonna really like go there, especially with your fans, Madonna, and I'm not trying to fault her because I understand how the music industry works and I understand how record
Totally.
labels work. But if
Yep.
you're really gonna go there with Veronica Electronica, knowing that it's been 25 years and we've all been sort of like wondering what this is, you of all people, I feel like, have the opportunity to do something. You could easily take the entire vocals from all of Ray of Light and then make Veronica Electronica and give them to other people and do a full-on remix album, like a new
Totally.
one, and give it to interesting people. Give it to Kate Renata, give it to Portishead Now, give it to, whatever, like just Nelly Hooper, like grab somebody, like anybody, like, and just do something
Yeah.
that's really, really interesting, but can still feel current.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I feel like I would have appreciated a little bit more. Now, do I think that Madonna fans would have been happy with that? No, because they'd be like, who's this? Who are these people? Because they don't always keep
Right.
up,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Right.
But I do think that for something for the namesake of it,
Yeah.
and Z, I hope you're happy we're talking about Ray of Light, something related. But, because we're only talking about it because she's talking about it.
Right. Exactly.
Right. But it's like, I don't know. I did want something a little bit more.
Same.
Yeah.
But that said, I'm excited to get some new edits of the songs. I'm interested to hear how they're going to edit down the Twilo mix of Ray of Light.
Right.
I'm interested to hear.
I'm curious because a lot of these originally did have edits that were done by them.
Yeah.
That were done by the DJs and stuff, but they just never put them out.
Right.
So
yeah.
I'm curious to see if they're actually those or if they're like new edits.
Yeah, I will say I would have loved if they had included. So, Ray of Light Madonna had said that it was originally a 10-minute song on its own,
right?
And I would have loved if they had included the original 10-minute song.
Right.
She said that she did not want to edit it down, and her label forced her to. And so that would have been cool if they included the original 10-minute version. Suck it, Taylor.
Right. Well, I wonder if it's because I feel like the original, because the lyrics are from the song Zephyr by, I can't think of the guy's name, something
right.
Cook, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But I feel like there were more lyrics. I feel like she did that entire thing.
Right. Yeah. There's probably more lyrics.
Yeah.
I also think there's like an extended crazy. I mean, part of it kind of leaked online. There is like an unofficial edit version of this floating around on YouTube, where William Orbit is just really going off on the guitar, and it's really, really cool. And also, part of it was also used in one of the remixes. It's the part where she was like, "And I feel
yes,
like I just got home."
So sorry, everybody at home.
So I know that was in there. Let's celebrate that.
Brian is probably somewhere in the apartment going, "What the hell is happening?
What the hell is happening?" We're getting possessed by Veronica herself. We're like, oh. I'm excited that the Gone 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 demo is getting an official release. That's cool. But yeah, I would have loved to have heard maybe a remix of Candy Perfume Girl or Shanti Ashtanti.
Yes, like just give me something for Skin. Like give me something more. I don't know.
Give me, yeah.
I want something more.
Because I will say the original Skin is
perfection.
Such a cool song. The way it builds and builds and builds and builds.
Yeah.
That like, this is no disrespect to Victor Calderon and Peter. I do like the Skin remix, but I would have I wanted something more with it.
Oh, 100%. That was just
Because
very much reflective of the sound that they were in the moment.
yes,
Right.
yeah. So I don't know who could even do a remix of Skin, past or present, but I mean honestly, maybe this is me just being biased, but like BT and
I
Sasha
knew you
really
were going to
fucking
say
killed
that.
it. They really killed it with their remixes for this project.
Yeah.
So I mean, BT specifically, knows how to create a remix. Now,
Right.
Every episode being like, BT, make a remix.
I know. Friend of the pod,
but
BT.
please. But he could have done something really cool. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just it feels like there's a lack of A&R a little bit to me.
Totally. And I forget his name, Oscar something, but he had passed away, and I remember Madonna, he had passed away 2021-ish, somewhere in there. It was after I Don't Search, I Find had gone number 1 on the club charts. It was like her fifth, I think that was her 50th or 51st, something like that. And she said that Oscar was the A&R person that was responsible for helping get a lot of her songs to number 1 on the club charts, selecting remixes and things like that. And so, this is no disrespect to the DJs and producers that are out there. I know that everyone's grinding and they're doing their absolute best, but the unfortunate thing is, because people are chasing capitalism and trying to get the next soundbite out there, right, yada, 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 people aren't unfortunately taking their time to create and draft in these incredible sounds. And I get why a lot of people don't like remixes now because of that.
Right. Well, because but the goal is different, and that's
different.
That's what I feel like. The goal is now, like, how do I get my song on a playlist, not how can I get this song in the hands of a DJ who's going to break it at the club. Like, the club has a different function for, I think, a lot of society now. Whereas it feels like the club used to be where you would go to get an education. Now I feel like this is just reinforcing everything that you've been hearing all day.
Right.
And again, there's many ways to party, and neither is better or worse. It's just different, and it's a preference. But I don't know. I think that when it comes to like the legacy artists, you do sort of feel like I want there to be more. You do deserve the respect. You do deserve the accolades and all the flowers and everything else. So let's do this right.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like Mariah is always the one whenever it comes to her back catalog. But I'm going to segue.
Give it.
Miss Mariah, new record label, new team, new music video, new single. Who is she? I live.
Who is she?
Type Dangerous.
Type Dangerous. I love it.
I love Anderson .Paak. Mwah.
Chef's kiss.
Besos for Anderson .Paak.
Besos. I will say again, beating a dead horse here. My only gripe is that it's short, because I feel like the way it ends, it feels like it's a bridge.
Right.
That it's about to go into one more chorus and it just ends.
Right.
So that's my only gripe, but the song's great.
I love it. I think it's a great first little buzz.
Yeah.
I'm really, really curious. If I know Mariah, there'll probably be some type of a remix, whether it's a dance one or whether it's, something else. I think would be fantastic. But I don't know. She looks phenomenal. And it's like, it's been 7 years since Caution.
That's crazy. Like, blows my mind that it's been that long. She just teased the music video today. And I have to say this, shout out to the team for this, because you know what? Because of this instant gratification culture, and I get it, people often release their music videos the same day that the song is released, right? Whether it be, at midnight when the song drops, or, maybe it's 9 a.m. the next morning or whatever, right? I love this idea of like, hey, let's drop the single this week, and then the following week we'll do the music video, because it creates a moment. It extends that, like, you're able to enjoy it a little bit more, and you're able to, because once you get the song in the music video,
that's it, right? But that's what I mean. Like, you the whole idea of this is that there's been an idea around this project that the artist wants to put out, and you what does Madonna say in Truth or Dare? You get on this train. It's cathartic.
Yeah.
You go on this journey, and but it is very that, like, if somebody wants you to hear their art a certain way, you should at least indulge them a little.
Absolutely. And so I love it. She looks as you said, she looks phenomenal. I'm excited to see what the music video is all about. It looks kind of like it's paying homage a little bit to It's Like That. Totally. The way it's kind of opening up in a party.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for this new album. I'm excited to hear that she's, I love that it's an up-tempo song. I love that she kind of, you had mentioned earlier, is that she, when we were in the text thread, that she's not rapping, but she's not like it's like a rap singy type of way of
It's
delivery.
giving Brandy.
Yeah.
It's definitely giving Brandy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I think I had said that it sounds kind of like Turn It Up from the Aphrodisiac album a little bit. Yeah, and I love that.
But it's also like, and what I like about this too is that she's making music that is fitting her voice now. And that I feel like when you're somebody like Mariah Carey and you were known for the voice for so long, there is this expectation to still be at whatever age you are at, still giving vocals like when you were 22. And it's unrealistic. And I don't have a problem. You want to lower the key, girl, lower the key. Do you know how many notes you're doing in Vision of Love? Jesus.
Right.
Like, I don't care. Like, that's fine. Like, you have nothing to prove to me. You're Mariah Carey. You know, like, that's why it's just so weird to hold people to that sort of standard. But yeah, I just love it because I felt like Caution was the perfect bridge because I'm like, I get it. I get the Christmas stuff. And yes, it's the moneymaker. I totally understand and do all the Christmas stuff, but I'm a little sick of it. I want more like what Caution was. Caution to me is probably one of my favorite albums by her now.
Yeah.
It just, I think it did so well for her and her voice, and it was just so suited for her and that sound. And it was R&B without being exactly the same Jermaine Dupri-ness.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
Again, not bad, but just something a little bit different in the same pocket. So I am very, very excited to see where this is going to go.
I am too. I mean, I'm interested to see if, Anderson .Paak has done more on the project. I'm interested to see if she dives into different types of sounds. I mean, I love when she does a little house moment, and I think that she's primed and ready to do an original house song.
Absolutely.
That would be incredible.
Call David Morales.
Yeah,
get her on the phone.
Don't tease me. Don't tease me with a good time. Like, that would be amazing. Yeah, David Morales. I mean, even Kate Tronada.
Right. I loved his mix of Don't Forget About Us. It's such a vibe.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see what she has to come. And I love that there is an album coming. I mean, obviously with the MC16 of it all.
Right.
So yeah, I'm ready.
Because I'm sorry, like, and even if you go back into her catalog, and I could do this all day with her, but like, there's so many songs that just never got their comeuppance that were so good. Meteorite is one of them. You Don't Know What to Do is another one. Like, there's just so many bops that she's put out that I'm like, y'all are asleep, and I don't get it. Like, these are vibes.
Yeah, especially You Don't Know What to Do and Meteorite, like you just said, like those two songs were so good. And part of me is like, again, like, who is behind these decisions?
I think her team was really messy for a while.
Because let me tell you what, when I think of Me, I Am Mariah, the elusive chanteuse, first of all, maybe we need to workshop the title.
Maybe.
One or the other. One or the other. But I felt like there was a conversation at that time about Mariah returning to her roots again, right? Or like kind of returning to the prime Mariah that we all know and love of her, right? And You Don't Know What to Do is a really good example of her doing kind of that classic dancey sound in a current environment,
100%.
And the fact that it was not the lead single or even the second single,
right?
I want to say it was released as like the third or fourth, but like it didn't get a proper push. I think it got one live performance. It didn't get a music video.
Right.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's also like, it feels like the most easily accessible music for her too. Like, like the R&B bag that she's always in, like, I feel like people are expecting her to do the tricks and the flips and everything like that. But like, she could just vibe over a beat, and she always does. I mean, even if you look at something as vibey as I'm That Chick from E = MC Squared, an absolute vibe. I love that song.
Yes,
one absolutely. Of my favorites. Yeah.
Gosh. Well, I mean, I've always wanted a house album from Mariah. So,
but that's what I mean. Like, please, girl, I would die.
That would be amazing. Yeah. Maybe one day.
One day.
Maybe one day.
Fingers crossed.
Well, John Michael, it's come to that famous section of the show where we love to talk about a song we don't talk about enough, where we rally about a deep cut, bonus track, remix, what have you. Do you have a selection for today?
I do, and it's a little random, and I don't know what made me think of it, but I was just kind of feeling a little Britney moment. Maybe it's because of the Britney-ness. We just did the moment at Peloton. I don't. But Liar from Glory.
Oh, I love that.
I love this song so much, and like it's the thing about this one specifically. Well, first of all, it's co-written by Jason Evigan. I don't know how you say his last name. But and he is, if you look at his credits, he is involved in some of the most incredible like pop music as of recently. So we love that. But the production is phenomenal, and it's one of those Britney songs like "And If You Seek Amy" to me, where it's instantly cinematic. Like I'm instantly transported into the Britney Spears cinematic universe when I hear the intro to Liar. And I'm like, I see her in the boots, the cowboy hat on the ranch. She's got the lasso. She's going to go for the guy. Like I could see the whole music video.
I love that.
That's what like a pop star does for me. Like when I hear your music and I can see the visuals, you know, you are the visuals, baby. You know, that's
you are the visuals.
You are the visuals, baby.
I love that. And that's such a fan favorite from the album too. Like,
and it was actually hard because I wanted it to be something from here. And I'm like, I could pick Mood Ring too, but I really want to go for Liar.
Yeah, Liar. I mean, it just didn't get obviously didn't get the single treatment. And yeah,
there should have been so many more music. I know there was so much going on at the time, and I get it. Like we all know now, but like, just I mean, I love Do You Want to Come Over? I mean, I could do a whole thing about Gloria. It really is just a phenomenal album.
Yeah, it really is. I loved one of the bonus tracks. What was it?
Swimming in the Stars. Oh, I love that song. Yeah. Oh, I haven't listened to that in a minute.
Yeah,
I even like the weird French one too.
Coupe Electric.
Right.
Yeah.
I do. I just love. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. Underrated Britney album for sure. I am going to go with a friend of the pod. I want to give Bentley Robles his flowers. So when Madison performed High Definition Lover at the show, I was like, this goes off. I mean, I liked the song, but like hearing songs live sometimes does something in my brain where it will transform it.
Absolutely.
And so like hearing that, I was like, this is incredible. So I really want to specifically shout out the song though, Chaotic Erotica.
I love that one.
It's so good. Yeah. The chant where it's like, put your hands on me, sweat from body key. I was like, Bentley, what did you put in this song? Like it is so good. And his music is so big and bombastic, kind of, it doesn't, how do I say this? Reminiscent in the way that like Bonnie McKee's Hot City is really big and bombastic. That's I would say very different sounds, but still big in production and big in vocals. You know?
It's a commitment to the bit. And that's what you need. You have to, there's a level of Delulu that you need to have to pull off being a pop star. And that's why I think both Bentley and Z, they both have that. And I'm not even saying Delulu in a shady way. I just think that it's like, you have to have this sort of otherworldly part of yourself to pull this out of you.
Truly. And Bentley does it. I mean, like it just goes off. I was listening to it all day because today I took the day off of work today. And I was like doing, you know, my normal Sunday errands, and I was listening to the EP, and I was just like, this is such a talented man.
Right.
And so, yeah, Chaotic Erotica, which, you know, kind of his own Veronica Electronica.
Right.
You know,
I'm just saying
the cadence of it all. But yeah, I mean, shout out to him because, yeah, excellent song.
You know what we should do? We should also do, and maybe we'll take this out in post, but maybe like a Pride episode where we talk only about gay artists.
We'd love that.
I think that's a really good idea. I think that would be nice to have a little bit of rallying around the community like that.
I agree. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, thank you for listening to this episode. We know times are tough right now. Be good to yourselves, be good to others. And
I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that this gave you a little bit of respite, a little bit of levity.
Me too. And I hope that, you know, I think that we want to be an escape for you, but we also just want to be real. I mean, I think that that's the thing. It's like we understand that things are crazy right now.
Right.
So we don't want you thinking that we're just ignoring it and being like, la, 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 what do people think of the skin remix?
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Right. Yeah. Love is love.
Right. Until it's not.
Until it's not. Oh my God. For real. Wow. Anyways, peace and love. And until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.